Welcome to Real Talk with Janae Tollison. Today I have Mrs. Jules Gutierrez, who is a fellow transgender student and has been allegedly assaulted by a kid for bullying her, and she has been charged with reckless endangerment for breaking the student's nose during the altercation, and now she's here to tell her story. Thank you, Mrs. Gutierrez, for being on the show.
Hi.
So, tell me, let's backtrack. Go back to the moment you kind of realized where you were born in quote unquote the wrong body.
Well, it was about when I was in middle school. I was 14 years old, and I just didn't really like any of the things that the other boys would like. I always liked the feminine things.
Speak on feminine things, what do you mean?
Well, I liked the way nail polish looked on myself, and I liked the dresses and just feminine attire.
It's interesting you mentioned wearing feminine attire like in dresses, considering the fact that you're wearing jeans and a crew neck, which can be sometimes labeled as a boy's choice of outfits.
Well, I see that you're wearing the same thing as I am.
Touche. So, tell me about your transition from going to a boy, in middle school, to now going to this new gender as a girl and also becoming a freshman in high school. Tell me what that was like for you.
Well, it was pretty hard because people would call me names.
What names would they call you specifically?
They would call me a tranny, or they would call me gay in an offensive way, and they just kept on bullying me. I wasn't comfortable. I didn't feel like I fit in.
Physically, how do they bully? Physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, all of that, or?
All of it.
Interesting. So now take me back to the incident, December 5th, 2015, where the fight took place and you broke the kid's nose and you were arrested and charged, and now you're in a program, I think?
Yes.
You're in a program until you come back to school. So talk me about the incident, what led up to that.
Well, the kids in my English class, I can remember that day perfectly. When they kept on calling me names, it was one boy in particular, and he got his friends to come.
How many of them?
About 6 of his friends to come and pick on me almost every day in English class and just call me names and physically bully me and push me. I just didn't feel like I belonged.
Were the teachers aware of any of this?
My English teacher was aware.
And he or she did anything about it?
Not anything.
So where did the fight take place?
It took place in English class.
Okay, and what did he say to put? Yeah.
He called me like tranny, and he called me gay in an offensive way.
And you just went up, punched in the nose.
Yes.
And you thought fighting was the answer for that?
Well, nobody would help me. I tried to get help from other people, security guards, but they didn't help me, so I just got sick of it.
Interesting. And welcome back. Today we have the board president from West Contra Costa United Schools. We have Dr. Carl Ramsey. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well, Miss Janae Tollison.
Thank you. Okay, so take me back to when you first found out about the incident that took place at your school where a transgender student was being allegedly bullied and then has got to a fight with a fellow student because of it. Tell me how you felt about that situation.
Well, honestly, I didn't know about the bullying at all, because if I would have heard about it, I would have put an end to it. I didn't hear about the altercation until the fighting had happened that day, and I have zero tolerance for fighting at my school. So she was arrested and she was suspended. Both of the students were. But I did not know about the previous altercations her and that student had before. Mm-hmm. I send my condolences out to her and her family. And if there's anything I could do, I would be glad to lend a hand. But she does have to finish some cases the court had said before she can return to school. So I'm on board with that, whatever the court says. I did not know about the bullying. Okay. I did not know about the attack she had faced during school. I was not aware of those things. So, yes.
Well, you seem so very willing to help. So is there any programs or any counseling that will be given to these students? Any tolerance working with other students? How do you plan to move forward with this?
We haven't made a plan just yet.
Okay.
But we will. So, furthermore, I have no comment on that. So, yeah.
Interesting. So, where are both of these students currently?
Right now, the alleged minor is completing some programs too. He is still as well suspended from school. Miss Gutierrez is still suspended from school, and they will return in 4 days. And I plan to have disciplinary actions. I plan to talk to the students about, stop bullying, harassment, because we would not accept it at my school, not at all, not in our district, not in our school. We would not have that negative energy going around.
Okay, well, thank you for coming, Dr. Carl. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the show, guys. We have Miss Tiffany Woods here, who is a transgender program manager at the Tri-City Health Center. Welcome back. Welcome to the show. Excuse me.
Thank you.
So I know you've did some research and you have some findings working with transgender students in your health center. Can you go into more detail about that?
According to just released findings from the transgender survey that we conducted, the participants, they recorded attempting suicide 25 more times than average person.
Mm-hmm.
Average person being non-transgender.
Obviously, yes.
41% of all the respondents reported that they attempted suicide, compared with the estimated rate of 1.6, which is beyond to what our estimates were.
Of course, yes.
It's disheartening to think of all of this because bullying has caused all these problems.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened with the student was tragic.
Yes, it was. Very.
59% of them are being bullied, even by teachers, which
Wow.
is unbelievable.
Crazy.
You would think they'd cooperate. And then they were also assaulted by the teachers with 76%, and 69 being sexually assaulted by teachers.
So what are some things that we can do about that? Or do you have any more state statistics or anything? Can you continue more on the stats?
25% reported that they were homeless, compared to the 14% of those who did not report mistreatment in schools. These suicide statistics are part of the broader findings related to health care and health for transgender and gender nonconforming that will be released next week.
So what ways do you think we can support transgender students, or just give your opinion on the situation?
I believe that we need to teach seminars, workshops, and how to deal with transgender, and just teaching overall tolerance. We need groups to help transgenders, and they are just normal people. They're not that different. They're just in the wrong body.
That was some great words. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
We will bring out Susan Gutierrez, who is Jules' mother. Okay. So, welcome, Mrs. Gutierrez, to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me the conversation that had to take place where your daughter went up to you and said, "Hey, guess what, Mom? You didn't put me in the right body." So tell me about that conversation and how that affected you.
I mean, it was rough at first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she came home from school one day, and she told me that she was in the wrong body. I kind of had an idea before, considering all the things that she did. She was into nail polish. But me, myself, I come from a religious family, and it's often taught
A
that...
Christian religious family?
Yeah, Christian religious family.
Okay.
And it's often taught that, especially in the Bible, that, homosexuality and all of that is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, at first I was just like, this isn't right, but she is my daughter, and I love her, and so I had no choice but to support her.
That's nice. So I'm aware that her father left the family because of her decision. So tell me, what was the relationship like between her and her father?
It was hard. he often, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
he thought that it was okay to abuse her. He thought that he could somehow beat it out of her.
Mm.
So that's what he did almost every day. He would catch her, trying on dresses and all of that, and he would beat her. And then one day we had a conversation. I told him I didn't like it, and then he told me he would leave. I didn't think he would leave, but after that I never seen him again.
That's interesting. So now we will be taking questions from our viewers or comments sent. Jake from Tuska, Tennessee says, male and female, he created them. All the modern day speculation about numerous genders or even a gender continuum with unlimited genders is unbiblical. Cut the he, she crap, and the verse I recited was from Genesis 1:27. So Jules, tell us about how you feel about that.
Well, the Bible also says in Colossians 3:13, bearing with one another, and if one another has a complaint against another, forgiving each other, as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. It says it right there.
Okay. Naomi L. from Cincinnati, Ohio says, God's creation of each individual must surely include his designation of gender/sex. His wonderful work leaves no room for mistakes. No one is born with the wrong body. Stop trying to change that. How do you feel about how people see you and your daughter and that comment, Mrs. Gutierrez?
Well, the Bible, which you guys keep referring to, also says, according to Matthew 7:1, judge not, lest ye be judged.
Mm-hmm.
So how about instead of criticizing everyone, we live as Christians and realize that it's not up to us to criticize every little thing that happens. It's only up to God, the Most High.
That's nice. Jules, what do you have to say about this?
I mean, I agree with her. It's just who I am. I can't change that, what I feel about myself.
That's nice. Well, this has been such an eye-opening and very deep talk and conversation today. I thank both of you guys for coming and sharing your stories and how you feel. I think the whole world and nation needed to hear that. Thank you, Mrs. Gutierrez.